بعد شي نص ساعة.
بدك تخلصها؟ أي ساعة يعني بلوك؟
كيفك لالي؟
هاي أستاذ منيحة، أنت كيفك؟
الحمد لله.
مرحبا أستاذ. منيح وأنت؟
الحمد لله.
أهلا أستاذ.
كيفك هيكاز؟
منيح.
Okay, let's start. Okay, model 6. Part A. Consider the function g defined on R by gx equal 1 plus 1 minus x e to the power x. Part 1, we are going to calculate the limit as x tends to minus infinity of gx. How much is the limit as x tends to minus infinity?
1.
1. كيف طلع معنا 1؟ Okay, limit as x tends to minus infinity of gx. We replace each x by minus infinity. This x بتصير 1 plus infinity e to the minus infinity. E to the minus infinity is 0, so we get 1 plus infinity into 0, which is indeterminate form. We change the form. Changing the form, بننزل هيدا ال ex بينزل على الدينومينيتور. بصير limit as x tends to minus infinity of 1 بننزل ال ex لتحت بيصير 1 minus x over e minus x. We change its sign. Yes?
أنا عملت expand بيصير هيك.
You can expand بس نحن ما أخذنا الرول x e to the x.
إيه استخدمت x e to the x أنا.
So applying Hopital's rule لأنه هذا راح يطلع هون يطلع معنا infinity over infinity هيدا هون. So we apply Hopital's rule. So limit as x tends to minus infinity. ال1 هيدا ما بنعمل له Hopital ما بنعمل له derivative بضل 1. Derivative لل1 minus x is minus 1 over derivative lel e to the minus x is minus e to the power minus x equal, we replace x by minus infinity equal 1 minus 1 over e to the plus infinity is a plus infinity times minus, we see minus infinity. So 1 minus 0, since number over infinity is 0, we get 1. So limit as x tends to minus infinity is 1. Now limit as x tends to plus infinity of gx equal, we replace each x by plus infinity equal 1 plus 1 minus infinity e to the power plus infinity. 1 minus infinity is minus infinity. E to the power plus infinity is plus infinity. So we get minus infinity. Minus infinity times infinity is minus infinity.
أستاذ
Yes.
بس فيك تذكرني شو الانdeterminate forms؟
Indeterminate forms هن infinity over infinity.
إذا بيصير هيك بنعمل HR.
HR و0 على 0 هدول هايكاز نستخدم الهايكاز رول HR.
أيوه
0 times infinity change form.
يعني يا بنعمل simplify يا
بالاكسبوننشال
expand هيك.
بالاكسبوننشال يس بس بالاكسبوننشال بننزل الاي اكس لتحت على الدينومينيتور وانفينيتي ماينس انفينيتي بناخد highest power or factorize. Okay.
Okay.
Any questions about the limits here?
No, Ustaz.
Calculate g prime x, part B. We need to calculate g prime x and set up the table of variations of g. To calculate gx, derivative لل1 is 0. هذا كيف شكله 1 minus x e to the x. So
U dot V.
هيدا derivative لل1 0. هيدا u وهيدا v. g prime x equal derivative لل1 0. u prime derivative لل1 minus x is minus 1. This is u prime times v times e to the x plus v prime derivative lel e to the x is e to the x times u 1 minus x. Either we take ex common or we expand. If we expand, we get minus e to the x plus e to the x minus x e to the x. Minus e to the x plus e to the x 0. بضل عندنا minus x e to the x. Since we don't know the sign of the derivative over r, so we solve g prime x equal to 0. It means that minus x e to the x equal to 0. But since e to the x is positive always, so we take minus x equal to 0, then x equals 0. Table of variations. X, we put the domain, which is minus infinity plus infinity, and the value of x, which is 0. At 0, we get 0. For example, to know the sign of G prime, if I take number 1 and I replace it in the derivative, إذا أخذنا محل x1 يضل عندنا minus 1e, which is negative. So here negative, here is positive. Now, al minus infinity, the limit is 1. G of 0 is 2. The maximum is 2. Al plus infinity, the limit is minus infinity. Any questions?
No, Ustaz.
Part A. Prove that the equation gx equal to 0 has one root and verify that this root is between 1.27 and 1.28. This is simple. How to prove this one?
Ustaz هون ما مكتوب مونوتون هدول لأنه مو strictly increasing or decreasing.
بلا بالinterval هيدا yes, you have always to mention it is increasing or decreasing in the given interval, not over R.
اوكي. يعني بالتيبل هلا في increasing بعدين decreasing.
Okay. ال 1.2 ال 1. هيدا part 2A. بالinterval 1.27 1.28
is decreasing.
decreasing. So G is continuous and strictly decreasing over the given interval. G of 1.27 بيطلع 0. هيدا نو ماشي هيدا هون 0.038 which is positive. G of 1.28 بيطلع minus 7.05 times 10 to the power minus 3 which is negative. So Gx equal to 0 has one root alpha.
أستاذ
Yes.
هون ما فينا نقول من هيدا التيبل اللي نحن عملنا إنه لأنه from 1 ل 2
لا بدك تقول over the
ما
interval.
في root.
إيه. بس you have to say not necessarily هون ما بنقول. You can say over 0 plus infinity. F is decreasing from to a positive value to a negative infinity. So the curve of G cuts the x-axis at one point.
At the root.
So we have one root.
إيه.
at one root alpha.
Yes.
استاذ اوقات انت قلت لنا هو بيعطينا رقم نحن نعمل compare معه مو؟
إذا قلنا fx equal number أو gx equal number, yes. Part B, discuss according to the values of x, sign of gx. How to discuss sign of gx?
هيدا ما قدرت.
If هذا صرنا عاملين مثله كتير. To discuss the sign of نعمل هيدا التيبل of gx. Find table لل gx. ونحط بهيدا التيبل domain minus infinity plus infinity at alpha gx هي 0. To know the sign, for example, if I need to know the sign here, if I take the number 0, if I find the g of 0, داش بيطلع g of 0 بيطلع 2 يعني positive يعني هون positive هون negative. So gx equal to 0 for x equal alpha. Gx positive is that x belongs to minus infinity alpha. Gx is negative is that x belongs to alpha plus infinity. فهمت هيكاز ولا نو؟
Yes, it is. بدنا نعمل relate مع الألفا.
Yes.
table يعني.
Part B. We have the function f defined on R by fx equals 2 minus x e to the x plus x minus 2, and c is its representative curve. We need to calculate limit as x tends to plus infinity and the particular point f of 2.5. So part B, we have limit 1a, limit as x tends to plus infinity. We replace each x by plus infinity. It will become 2 minus infinity is minus infinity, e to the power plus infinity minus 2. Just replacing x by infinity. E to the power infinity is infinity. Infinity times minus infinity is minus infinity plus infinity. Infinity minus infinity is indeterminate form. So I take the limit of the highest power. من الhighest 2 minus x times e to the x or x?
Of course, x 2
Yes.
minus x.
So limit as x tends to plus infinity of fx equal limit as x tends to plus infinity. It is equal to the highest power 2 minus x times e to the x. بصير minus infinity times e to the power plus infinity is plus infinity. So it is equal minus infinity. F of 2.5 by using the calculator, it is a particular point used whenever we need to draw the curve, equal minus 5.59. Part B, limit as x tends to minus infinity of fx, and prove that the line D, y equal x minus 2 is an oblique asymptote to C. So limit as x tends to minus infinity of fx, we replace each x by minus infinity. هذا بتصير 2 plus infinity بتصير plus infinity times e to the minus infinity plus 2 plus infinity. E to the minus infinity is 0. Minus infinity. Here infinity times 0 is indeterminate form. So Thomas, here we have to change the form. So limit as x tends to minus infinity of fx equal limit as x tends to minus infinity. Changing the form, ننزل الاكسبوننشال على الدينومينيتور. بتصير 2 minus x over e to the minus x plus x minus 2. هيدا بيطلع الليميت هون infinity على infinity. So we apply Hospital's rule. بصير limit as x tends to minus infinity. Derivative of 2 minus x is minus 1. Derivative لل e to the minus x is minus e to the power minus x. ال x minus 2 I leave it x minus 2 ما بعمل لها derivative. Now replacing x by minus infinity بصير minus 1 e to the plus infinity times minus, it is minus infinity minus 2. Number over infinity is 0, so we get minus infinity. Now to prove oblique asymptote, sure لازم نجيب الليمت على الماينس انفينيتي مش على البلس انفينيتي، لانه كان قايل لنا ليه الليمت على الماينس انفينيتي. Limit as x tends to minus infinity لل fx minus yd, we get limit as x tends to minus infinity بيضل عندنا 2 minus x times e to the x. Replacing x by infinity, we get infinity times 0. Indeterminate. Changing the form, limit as x tends to minus infinity. Putting e to the x in the denominator, بتصير 2 minus x over e to the minus x. بصير معنا infinity على infinity. We apply Hospital's rule. Limit as x tends to minus infinity. Derivative minus 1 over derivative minus e to the minus x. So minus 1 على minus infinity equal to 0. Therefore, the line dy equal x minus 2 is an oblique asymptote at minus infinity. Now, the position بالpart C, we need to study the position between C and D. To study the position between C and D, we study the sign of fx minus yd. اللي طلعت معنا 2 minus x times e to the x. Since I don't know the sign of 2 minus x, so we have to solve fx minus yd equal 0. Then 2 minus x equal to 0. Then x equals 2. Sign table for position. X domain هو minus infinity plus infinity. At 2, fx minus yd is 0. To know the sign between, for example, between minus infinity and 2 إذا أخذنا number 0 حطينا محل ال x 0 هون بال 2 minus x e to the x 2 minus 0 بتطلع معنا هون positive هون negative. The position, since it is positive, we say C is above D. Negative, we say C is below D. At 0, we say that D cuts C at the point 2 of abscissa 2. To find the ordinate, أنا معي اللاين عنده equation y equal x minus 2. إذا حطينا محل ال x 2 2 minus 2 is 0. فبنحصل هون على 0. 2 0. هاي كاظم لحق.
Yes, Ustaz.
Now part 2. Verify that f prime x equal gx. Then set up the table of variations. Verify that f prime x equal gx and set up the table of variations. So part A, هيدا ال fx هو the form u dot v plus derivative of x is 1. U prime is minus 1 times v is e to the x plus v prime is e to the x into 2 minus x plus 1. We take e to the x common. Here we have ex, here we have ex. It is equal minus 1 plus 2 minus x plus 1 equals e to the x into 1 minus x plus 1. It is equal gx. What does it mean f prime x equal gx?
And it has the same sign as gx.
كيف كان
F prime.
sign? f prime x has the same sign مش as fx, as gx. هيدا نصلحها.
Okay.
As gx. So f prime x has the same sign as gx. كيف كان الساين للg؟ تتذكر هون الساين للg؟
عملنا تيبل بالالفا هيدا.
Yes. قبل الالفا positive. Before alpha it is positive. So x minus infinity alpha at
بس
alpha.
هون ناخذ نفس الالفا هيك.
شو غير الفا هيدا يا هيكاز؟ اوكي plus infinity. من الاف برايم عندها same sign as g والg is 0 at alpha.
Yes.
Between minus infinity and alpha the g was positive. يعني كان عندنا التيبل بهذا الشكل. x gx minus infinity alpha 0 plus infinity. هذا positive وهذا negative. يعني هون positive وهون negative. وهون alpha. على minus infinity the limit is minus infinity. على plus infinity the limit is minus infinity. هيدا f of alpha. هو بعدين عطينا انه alpha هي 1.27. ال f of alpha بيطلع 1.86. Whenever we need to draw Part B. Show that f of alpha equal alpha minus 2 squared over alpha minus 1. Alpha minus 2.
Table minus infinity equals to minus infinity. لقينا الفوق ببارت B1A هدول.
هون لقينا بال1
Yes.
1A 1B هون بهدول البارتس.
Okay.
So we have to calculate f of alpha. So f of alpha, this is f of alpha. We replace x by alpha equal 2 minus alpha e to the alpha plus alpha minus 2. 2 minus alpha e to the alpha plus alpha minus 2. I can write it as 2 minus alpha, I can put minus into alpha minus 2. I change the sign. Plus alpha minus 2. I can leave it like that. I put it alpha minus 2 into minus e to the alpha plus 1.
اخذنا common.
أخذنا كام. بس ما صار بعد مثل ما هو مثل ما بده. لك هو شو بده إياها كيف بده إياها. How to write it هون بنلاحظ نحن بعد ما صار مثل هيدا.
Yeah.
شو بدنا نعمل له لحتى يصير مثل هيدا؟ We search على الأوريجين of alpha. شو هو الألفا؟ gx equal to 0. gx equal 0 has 1 root alpha. مش هيك؟ شفنا هيك؟
Yes.
هذا جاي بكره مثله بالتست. gx equal to 0 has 1 root alpha. But g alpha equal 0. So 1 plus 1 minus alpha e to the alpha equal to 0. هيدا من الجي، هيدا الفانكشن الجي، بس حطيت محل الاكس alpha. So 1 minus alpha e to the alpha equal minus 1. So
إيه هذا نعمل replace بعدين.
اوكي. e to the alpha بتصير عندنا 1 over alpha minus 1. ليش عم جيب الاي تو ذا الفا انا؟ ليش جبت الاي تو ذا الفا؟
مشان نعمل substitute بال f alpha.
لانه هيدا هون هو independent of exponential، ما في exponential. So I have to find e alpha. So f alpha هيدا f alpha equal alpha minus 2. هيدا الاف alpha هيدا اللي هون alpha minus 2 minus e to the alpha حطينا محله ال e to the alpha هو minus 1 over alpha minus 1 plus 1 alpha minus 2 taking the LCM هيدا 1 هون بتصير minus 1 plus alpha minus 1 over alpha minus 1. So it will be alpha minus 2 هيدا بصير alpha minus 2 over alpha minus 1. So it will be alpha minus 2 squared over alpha minus 1.
استاذ لانه gx and fx have the same sign مشان هيك قدرنا نعمل replace alpha.
مش قدرنا نعمل replace. Look, because هون بالبارت 2a gx equal 0 has 1 root alpha. مش هيك؟ ولأنه الf prime x طلع فيه alpha عنده root alpha صار في relation between these two. فينا نعمل relation.
ايه هلا صار ايه yes.
Part 3. Show that the origin is an inflection point for C. كيف نجيب ال point of inflection؟
f double prime x
equal 0.
اوكي.
بس هون لأنه أوريجين يعني 0 0.
نحن بنعرف انه هيدا هون f prime x هيدا f prime. نحن بنعرف انه ال f prime x equal gx. So second derivative of f equal g prime of x. Derivative لل f prime is f double prime equal g prime x. نحن ملاقيين ال g prime x فوق. طلعت معنا minus x e to the x. So g prime f double prime equal minus x e to the x. Now we solve it equal to 0. Minus x e to the x equal to 0 يعني x equal to 0. and f of 0 is 0. دايما لازم نبين نعمل هيدا التيبل لحتى نبين انه second derivative changes sign.
says بالتري شو هي fx equals to gx ولا f prime
f prime f prime هيدا. To know the sign between 0 and plus infinity of the second derivative إذا حطينا محل ال x 1 تطلع هون negative هون positive, then the point O 0 0 is a point of inflection.
ما غير ساين.
كيف ما غير الساين from positive to negative؟ شو بك كيف ما غير الساين؟
f prime x كمان كان from positive to negative.
The point of inflection by definition is the point where the second derivative changes sign, second derivative changes sign, and it is equal to 0. Not related to f prime. Whenever f prime is an f prime changes sign بيكون عندها يا maximum يا minimum. If f double prime changes sign بيكون عندي a point of inflection.
كيف يعني changes sign استاذ؟
From positive to negative at 0 second derivative changes sign من positive ل negative أو من negative ل positive. Here it changes sign من positive ل negative.
اوكي.
عرفت كيف؟
Yes. أنا كنت عم أفهم إنه إذا f prime x is from positive to negative f double prime لازم يصير from negative to positive.
يعني at the value of x يعني x double prime is 0 at x equal يعني f double prime is 0 at x equal a and f double prime changes sign مش f prime not related to f prime. Okay. We will stop هلا take لل 2 و5 لأنه ما عادش في وقت نسكر الزوم.
في نكتب 2b قبل ما تسكر.
يلا اكتب
2b استاذ.
اوكي.
غير هيدا الاكسرسايز.
شو؟
بدنا نعمل غير هيدا الاكسرسايز او بس الثلاثي؟
لا غيره. اي واحد بدك يا هيكاز؟
2b.
يلا 2b. يلا عجل قبل ما يسكر. على 2 و5 اوكي؟
اوكي بس استاذ.
يس.
اليوم ما نعمل جي اس.
يس.
عم خربط كل شيء ببعض.
لا رح نعمل
نعمل exercises.
نعمل exercise صغير about 20 minutes.
استاذ وعندنا ضغط كثير اليوم.
خاش تنضغط يا خلصت هيدا رايتنج ولا بعد؟
يس.
يلا بنشوفكم بعد 10 minutes.
اوكي يا باي استاذ. استاذ ما نعمل جي اس بس.
بلا بدك تعمل جي اس وال اس. يلا.